Welcome back to Sky Thoughts. Ever wondered if that gross habit you had as a kid, picking your nose and eating the boogers, might actually have some hidden benefits? As bizarre as it sounds, there's a theory floating around that eating boogers could boost your immune system. Yeah, you heard that right. Let's dive into the weird science behind this idea and see if there's any truth to it. So, first things first, what exactly are boogers? They're not just gross little clumps in your nose. Boogers are actually dried up mucus, packed with dust, bacteria, pollen, and all sorts of tiny particles that your body traps to keep out of your lungs. Think of your nose as a natural air filter. Every time you breathe in, you're pulling in not just air but a whole host of microscopic particles from the environment. Your body's mucus acts as a sticky trap, catching these particles before they can enter your lungs and cause trouble. Over time, as the mucus traps more and more particles, it dries out and forms those little nuggets we call boogers. But here's where it gets interesting. Some scientists believe that eating boogers could actually be a way to expose your body to these trapped pathogens in a tiny, controlled manner. The idea is that by ingesting these bacteria, your immune system gets a kind of preview, allowing it to recognize and respond to similar invaders in the future. It's kind of like a mini, gross vaccine. Imagine your immune system as a bouncer at a club. By introducing it to these small-time troublemakers, you're essentially giving it a most wanted list, so when the real deal shows up, your immune system knows exactly how to handle it. But hold up, before you start digging in, remember this is just a theory. And while it sounds logical on paper, the scientific community isn't exactly rallying behind the idea. There's no solid evidence that eating boogers will actually give your immune system a boost. In fact, the few studies that have touched on this subject haven't provided any definitive proof that this habit does anything beneficial for your health. So, while the theory is fascinating, it remains just that, a theory. It's more of a speculative idea than a proven fact. In fact, there's a flip side to this theory. Your nose isn't just a mucus factory, it's also home to various bacteria, some of which can be harmful. So, when you eat boogers, you might be introducing not just harmless bacteria, but also potentially harmful ones, directly into your system. And that's not something you want to gamble with, especially since there are far safer ways to keep your immune system strong, like getting enough sleep, eating a balanced diet, and, washing your hands. It's also worth noting that our hands are constantly in contact with various surfaces, picking up bacteria and viruses along the way. When you pick your nose, you might be transferring these pathogens from your hands to your nose, and then to your mouth. That's a one-way ticket to getting sick, not healthier. Now, let's zoom out a bit and think about this from an evolutionary perspective. Some scientists speculate that behaviors like this might have had some kind of adaptive function in our ancestors. Maybe, just maybe, our ancient relatives who lived in a world full of microbes and pathogens developed this habit as a way to bolster their immune systems. After all, humans have evolved over millions of years to survive in environments that were far less clean than what we're used to today. Back then, exposure to a variety of microbes was unavoidable, and it's possible that our ancestors developed certain behaviors, like picking and eating boogers, as a way to help their bodies adapt to these conditions. It's a wild idea, but when you think about other strange behaviors in the animal kingdom, like how some animals eat their own poop to reabsorb nutrients or boost the gut flora, it doesn't seem entirely out of the question. For example, rabbits are known to engage in coprophagy, where they eat their own feces to ensure they get enough nutrients from their food. While this might seem gross to us, it's a perfectly normal and necessary behavior for them. Similarly, some primates have been observed picking their noses and eating what they find. Could this behavior in humans be a leftover trait from our evolutionary past? It's an intriguing possibility, but again, it's more of a thought experiment than a proven theory. But here's where things get even more fascinating. There's a theory called the hygiene hypothesis that suggests we might actually be too clean for our own good. According to this hypothesis, modern sanitation and hygiene practices might be contributing to a rise in allergies and autoimmune disorders because our immune systems aren't getting the workout they need from everyday exposure to microbes. Basically, our obsession with cleanliness might be backfiring. The hygiene hypothesis suggests that because we live in such clean environments, using antibacterial soaps, sanitizers, and living in homes that are regularly cleaned and disinfected, our immune systems aren't exposed to the wide variety of microbes they evolved to handle. As a result, our immune systems might overreact to harmless substances, leading to allergies and autoimmune conditions. Now, this doesn't mean you should start eating boogers as a way to toughen up your immune system. The hygiene hypothesis doesn't advocate for deliberately exposing yourself to harmful bacteria, but it does suggest that not all microbes are bad. In fact, many of them are essential for our health, and a little dirt might actually be good for you. This theory has sparked a lot of debate and research, with some scientists suggesting that we should let kids play in the dirt more, or that we should be less obsessive about cleaning every surface in our homes. So, while it might be fun to speculate about the hidden benefits of our less savory habits, it's always best to stick with proven methods for keeping our bodies healthy and strong. That means eating a balanced diet, getting enough exercise, plenty of sleep, and practicing good hygiene. There's no need to start picking your nose with the hopes of boosting your immune system. After all, there are plenty of other ways to keep your body in top shape that don't involve eating anything gross. In the end, the idea that eating boogers could be good for you is more of a quirky hypothesis than a serious scientific recommendation. It's a fun topic to think about and certainly makes for an interesting conversation starter, but it's not something you should add to your daily health routine. The human body is full of weird and wonderful mechanisms, and while some gross habits might have a hidden purpose, it's always a good idea to approach these theories with a healthy dose of skepticism. So, the next time someone tries to tell you that eating boogers could boost your immune system, you'll know the science behind the claim, and why it's probably better to stick with more traditional ways of staying healthy. And who knows, maybe in the future, scientists will uncover new evidence that sheds more light on this peculiar theory. But until then, let's just keep the boogers where they belong, in the tissue, not on your plate. If you found this topic as intriguing as we did, make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment below with your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe to Sky Thoughts for more fascinating insights into the weird and wonderful world around us. Thanks for watching.